just made a few changes and and I have to make everything a bit smaller, okay? Because I changed the base resolution. I think that 180 pixels would be just fine, but I don't see the camera here anymore. Uh, okay, here I am. And then I can make myself a bit smaller like this. So this is not going to consume a lot of bandwidth and it'll just work fine for our use case. I think that 720 pixels should be clear enough for most users. It shouldn't cause any problem whatsoever. Mm, Also, I'd like to. Okay, I've set this up over here. I can now also look at my Notion, and this is where I like to do all of the planning for anything that I want to do. And one of the concepts that I came across recently was, but before we do that, let's just start our development server. Okay, so we have an update for Shiki, and Shiki is a package that helps with syntax highlighting. So whenever you go to a website, you see this nice code snippets and they are highlighted properly. They even have hover functionality to tell you about the types and all those things. That's just Shiki for us. Let's see if there's an update for Svelte as well. And there is. So in line with that, we'll also have to check. Uh, I'll also just move it over here and take the sticky notes and also move them over here. Then I can open up Microsoft Edge. Uh, this is a nice channel. This guy, basically, he was working on uh, Go and HTMX, which has emerged as a very popular way for React and JavaScript developers to waste their time and then to get back to JavaScript because they realize that it's just not a stack they are comfortable or familiar with. Uh, But as a developer, you are inclined to try new things, and I'm glad that he did try and came back to JavaScript and was able to understand the various uh, pros and cons, like things that he had to give up. Pretty cool over there. And we'll just pin this tab, then we can go on to localhost 5173, and we'll also go to GitHub and check what all things we have available. Okay, so ShadCN has for Svelte has a new update. Emic is a nice utility. I think it's a nice tool if you want to self-host your own media asset management library. It'll be quite good. Okay, so no breaking changes. We can then run our development server. And this works for us. It should also work here. And you can just start off with this whole thing now. We can also work on this. So I'll again go back to transform and center myself. Or maybe is this just good enough? Like, uh, yeah, I guess. But then how do I show you guys? Okay, maybe we'll work something out there. I had to fix the case studies, and I think that I was able to do that. So, this is the section that I was working with. I wanted it to be, I wanted the whole container to be the target for the link, and I did that with the after pseudo element. And if I just go over here, I can see that I get into this whole thing. So, of course, another thing that I have to do is uh, fix this. So I'll just take a screenshot uh, and go over to Notion. And to do this, what I'd want to do is just find a design that I could work with. Okay, so we have that over here. I'll just go and find some designs that I like. So let's just, no, even that doesn't work for me. This is a good design, but then it requires me to have a heading for each of the list items. Okay, this design overall looks even better. Why choose Sonos? And it clearly demonstrates each of the features, but would this be beneficial in our design system? It'll definitely take up more space, but it also generally looks better. So I can have three equal uh, rows, and then each of them will have one of these, and it should work, right? And the good thing about this is that the background is transparent, so maybe that is why it looks better. So I really like that design. I mean, whoever made that is has better design skills than most of the designers I know. With this design also looks pretty chill, and okay, this one is for FAQs, and let me just see if I can go with that. Uh, it shouldn't take a lot of time for me to recreate this. I mean, I was pretty comfortable with this whole thing going over here with us. Like, okay, this one also looks good. I think I can keep that as an inspiration for one of the sections that I have to create. Let's say I can have a major feature over here and then six of these. So this goes in my design inspiration things, something like that. Okay, I don't want to download anything right now. I'll just save it as a pen. Maybe that is what would be the right thing over here. I'll create a new board and UI section. I'll get it. I need the save button for Pinterest. I haven't used Pinterest a lot because it's just not my day to day job to use it. But I'll use it more often, I think. I like the idea of a flat UI design as well. It just looks a lot cleaner. I mean, it's maybe a personal preference, even though I've seen it overdone on the internet. Like almost every website for a while had a flat UI design. Then there was this craze about material UI, and all the websites started looking like Google applications, Google mobile applications. And yeah, it was good. Okay, so I have added the pen and I can manage the extension. I can look at its keyboard shortcut. Uh, is Control Shift P? Yes, it is assigned. Control Alt P? No, Control Alt P isn't assigned. Control Alt P would be okay. Is Alt P assigned? No. So I'll guess with Alt P I can go to save to Pinterest. This should work. Let's just try this. I'm getting two buttons. Wow, so I can just select any of the images and it'll work. And then I can select the board as well. So this is an easy way for me to uh, get inspiration. But I'm digressing right now. I'll have to go back to the design that I really liked and use that instead. Hello, one viewer. What's up? I'm trying to make something with Svelte right now. Like this section, I currently have a section like this, and it right now does not look that good, right? I mean, I'd prefer it to be like, what do you think? Is this good enough if I just go with bullet points over here, or should I have something along this line? And this is a pretty good website as well. I think they have designed it quite well. There are email templates and everything like that. So I'll also save this website for design inspiration for later tasks. And I'll click on save. And I just have this now saved for myself. I'll go back to this design and let's just recreate this. I'll move it over here. And right now, what I have, what do I have right now? Okay, we'll have to manage that in one of the sections, and that would be the sticky section. And the way this works is by using a mapper. Okay, Okay, I can hide it as well. Wow. I'm trying to find a keyboard shortcut to make some things work, but now it just won't work because I am in something different now. Wow. Okay, I can move that by hand for now. And what I want to create is a design that is. Uh, okay, so I have the sticky section over here, and the list does not look good at all right now. But I want it to look much better than this. And the only way for me to do that is by making sure that the list works fine. Oh man, why would reload take me back to the home page? Okay, that takes care of it. Okay, I have the points now. And what if I look at it in the browser itself? Let's just head over to the browser uh, and look at this list and see if we are actually nesting two different. Okay, so right now the way it is working is it is just giving me three different. Uh, it's giving me a paragraph with line breaks in between, and I guess the whole that is why the whole thing is messed up right now. It should have been actually uh, if I go to port 9999, and this is the Prismic slice machine, which actually okay, just let me log in first. So, like, if you guys want to chat or anything, feel free to send a message. I'm just logging in into Prismic. Uh, Okay, I think this is a serious problem that I often face. When working with Prismic, it just creates a whole other issue. So I have to go again in here and try it out. And it works the second time. Like the first time I tried to log in, it failed, right? And if I don't close this window and then try it out, it succeeds. So this is something that Prismic has to work on. I mean, recreating this is so difficult. In my opinion, like it's just, but nonetheless, let's just get back to it because we have been able to log in. Give me a minute, will you? And maybe I'll also start a timer because a timer is, in fact, necessary. But once again, free feel to chat if you end up here in any way. Uh, if I go to pages and I look at, okay, it is a slice and it is the sticky section slice, and I've got two variations over here. So one of the variations is without the points, like it's just a heading, paragraph, and image on the right, and that is easy to look at over here, right? And then we have a sticky section with points, and points, what I've done is I've reduced it to either a list of bullet points or numbered points. But the problem is that I cannot actually enter another group within this group. And I need that because I want to have a group of points so that I can keep them separate. But right now that is not possible, right? So what I'm trying to do is maybe use bullet points, and that way I can split them up somehow. But what I'm getting in return is a paragraph tag, which should not be the case. So I'll go back to Prismic and work on it. And I also have some coffee, which is something that you need if you're trying to work on anything. It's just a necessity. You give it a good shake and then you take a sip. Okay. Prismic has a really cool website, like they have built it on Next.js. I'd want a website like this for sure. Like the initial load speed can be not that good. We'll also, I guess, start a timer so that I can keep track of uh, how long I have to work. Let's just start with a 90-minute timer. Because my voice tends to get tired after a while. I don't know why that is the case. Like it just doesn't feel good when your voice starts straining and you want to be able to like live stream for a long time, because I do like doing that. I want to be able to live stream for very long hours. This is one of the things that I just made, and it was basically based on an exercise that I looked at uh, for basic JavaScript, and I recreated the same thing in React as well. And I sort of didn't like the React way of doing things, even though I like JSX. But use state is like not that intuitive, I guess, because in Svelte, once you mark something as a signal, you can reassign them and its value updates. But in React, you have to use that variable, and then you have this corresponding variable with set appended to it. So here, as you have home points, there you'll have home points as well as set home points. And it just does something very simple, like you can add and remove various stuff, things like this. And not like React is very complicated, and this is a very simple thing to build. Uh, if I go to Stack Blitz and I just fire up a React project, let's just say we go with, I mean, they should have a template ready with React, Tailwind, and Typescript, so that you could quickly figure stuff out. I also want to try Astro like so bad. Astro, I think, is going to be something amazing to try out, because it is basically made for content websites. And maybe I'll use the Tailwind. See, that is exactly what I was talking about. My just voice starts giving up. Let's just look at the talks, and I'll use the CDN. Okay, so we'll create the same thing in React, and for that, And in React, you have to wrap this whole thing in a fragment, especially if it has multiple lines. Okay, right. And we can have two sections. So I'll have a dev with a name of ID. Sorry, I'll have a dev with a name of uh, cards. And what we'll do is, of course, we want to be able to work on this uh, in a way that does not actually create any problems for us. And so we want to have a grid. We want to have grid calls to. We want to have max width of 3xl. And also, I think that would be more or less it. Right. And then we want to have two sections. Section, and this is going to have a background blue of 500, then shadow medium, and I'll also give shadow a color. And what else? I'll go text slate 400 by default. Right, now we have got this, and let's just work on one of these. So I'll just move this over here, and because I want this to be okay. On click, it is going to do something. And are we in Prismic right now at least? Okay, I can look at the case study as well. But let's just keep going with this. I'll want to have uh, two variables. So this is how you create a reactive variable in React, right? So I've got these two variables, and to get the current value, I'll have to use the first one, the second one, would be used to set, that is, change the value of the variable itself. And this is basically how this thing works. Uh, we can then go ahead and show home over here. And on click, we are going to set home and we'll take the value of home and add 1 to it. Now, this is what I don't like about React, because this expression right here, uh, like, yeah, I am setting it like this, but in Svelte, I can just go with home equals uh, home plus equals 1. So it's more like JavaScript and less like its own unique syntax. But that's my personal preference. Like, a lot of people don't like Svelte's way of doing things. And I'll create the same thing for. I'll also have to go ahead and create a. Uh, so, how would I go about creating an array of these buttons? Maybe I go with new array 0 and I map over it. Would that be the way to go? I can go with 3. And the map function also takes two uh, arguments. So it will be item and index. And then I can use this to return button. Okay, so I can use that to return button itself and then also the index. And like, I don't actually even want to use the item, I just want the index. So can I go like this? And I won't use it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the index and I'll append this with a plus. Will that work? Nope, this doesn't render. Another really frustrating thing is that I have to do class name. But this still won't work. Like, as I said, React isn't my strong suit, and it can be a little bit frustrating, but yeah. So I'm trying to create the same thing in React. We can go about that. I think that it also needs a key in React. Uh, Maybe I've got something in the console at least. Nope. Does anyone know how to work with this? Maybe I should ask our genius buddy over here. Because this genius recommends that I, instead of doing this, go with 1, 2, and 3. Why does that work? Why doesn't the new array thing works? I don't get it. If I have, let's say, const array and I set it to new array and I want 3 of them here, and instead of 1, 2, 3, I want to use array.map, and that doesn't work. Is this a JavaScript thing? Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't have the last one. What the hell is happening? What am I missing? What the hell am I missing? And that also leads to, but if I go with one, two, three, it works. I'll have to look into it a bit more, because I think this is something that I'm not familiar with. Like, there seems to be a difference between the way in which you create an array, if you are using the new, if you are initializing it with a class, versus if you are just giving it a value. I guess I get the hang of it now. Basically, I have got two options. Either I go with one, two, and three like this, and that will make it work, right? Or if I'm going with new array syntax, right? And this should also work out because now, and the main thing seems to be in this is that, uh, let's just say, let's add this to the inbox. Okay, okay, I've got 2024 uh, 0815. So this is something new that I just discovered, and because I was using React and not Svelte, that I realized this. So uh, now I have a better idea of how this works. Right, and just so we are clear, we want to have a +1 here uh, to make this work, and we also want an on-click event. Right, and we want the same thing for our guest. I saved this and it should work. Okay, I'll also have to change this over here. Now this should work, right? So we are displaying the guest, we are changing the value of the guest score. And we can just get rid of this. Go away, dude. That works. I want to have this separated into its two different grids. I don't know why I'm not getting this over here, but let's just go with display grid dash calls dash 2. Okay, that isn't working. Flex dash row. Okay, what's happening? Because first of all, I've got these two sections. Is it because of the tailwind? Maybe it is because I haven't installed tailwind and that is causing the issue. It does not have all of the styles available. Uh, so if that won't work, then we can also go with style tag. I have no idea how to do this in React. Uh, okay. Okay, so tailwind isn't working at all. And that is why our styles are all off the place. But this just is going to work now. We can look at it in this way. It works, and in Svelte also it works, right? So we just made two different things in two different libraries. Both of them are pretty easy to use. I think that my familiarity with Svelte makes it easier for me to use it, and because I'm using it in a REPL that I've set up properly, uh, I'm much more comfortable with it. Whereas I'm trying to work with a CDN in this case, and that isn't obviously working quite nicely. But you get the gist of it. Uh, I'm logged into this. I can, I guess, quit. And let me just see what I have done over here. And this is the biggest mistake that may be causing the error for now. Okay, so they are going to club the label as well as link. And I think this would be a great use case for me because I generally have to create two different fields and that just feels like extra work. If I mean, it should be my choice to work through it. And their search can also use a lot of. But this is the feature that I'm most excited about, and that is reusable slices. But then they have this feature as well, advanced grouping slices. Oh no, they have paused it. They have paused it. Shit, man. Really wanted that. Advanced search will also be, I think, good. And a new releases pages. So I guess they have just prototyped most of these things. And the one that are in progress, I think, would be available in this quarter. So maybe by the end of September, we'll have all of the ones that are in progress available. But yeah, I really like this whole smaller images thing. Earlier, it used to take a lot of real estate on the screen. Like you'd have to scroll pretty far into either direction to get to your content. But this is practically a much easier option. I think this should solve our problem for now. Let's just go ahead and save it and we'll publish it. And how does that work now on our page? So now we have a list. At least that works now because earlier we just had paragraph tag and that wasn't actually rendering things properly. And we can once again get back to it. To style it, what kind of things can we use? Okay, so it is already wrapped in a UL, and that is why we are having this problem, which is not a big concern. We'll just have to use Okay, I guess I forgot to work on the break time. Like I was working during the break time, so I'll guess I'll take a 5 minute break and be back. Okay, so I'm back from the dead and we can get back to work. Sort of. They don't even actually tell you which ones are meant for grid and for flex. Hmm. Hey man, actually, I'm working on uh, a custom sort of uh, how to put it better. Like, I have this component and I'm trying to work through it. The problem is that in Svelte, you actually inherit some of these things. Uh, so Prismic provides me with a component and then I can use it accordingly, right? Uh, but I have to first style the UL element and s- then I have to go ahead and style the inner elements in a separate component. And so that is what I'm working with right now. I'm trying to make sure that this works properly. Uh, like what I want is a design like this. You know, I think this sort of list would look good. And if I have, let's say, even these things over here, I think it would just look better than what I have right now. Right? And so we don't want to place the content in center. That is actually working on the horizontal axis. We want something to work like we want it to work on the y axis actually. And I don't actually see it working that well over here. Uh, I can go ahead and try a few other things. By the way, what's up with you? What have you been up to? Do you code in any particular language? I checked out your channel, I guess. Uh, let's just check out your channel. Okay, so you're a fan of, uh, and you have got a lot more subscribers than I do. But you're a fan of Your Name, and it's one of my favorite movies as well. Like, and you play Valorant, which I do too. But I had to somewhat, uh, stop playing it because there's this thing going on with Intel. So I have an Intel processor, 13th gen uh, i7, and the thing is with Raptor Lake CPUs, there's some problem that Intel has recently addressed, and it just causes games to crash. Now, first they were blaming Nvidia for all of it, but then they decided, okay, Nvidia just slapped back, said this is not a problem with our GPUs, it's a problem with the CPU itself. So then they did an investigation, found out there was an error, and oh, so you know about this. Like Intel has just really messed up in this whole situation. It's just weird that they won't even do RMAs. It's just you build a PC and invest so much in it. What specs are you rocking? Yeah. Did you hear about this guy who invested $700,000 of his inheritance into Intel, and then the stock crashed? And then the guy was like, okay, I'll stick with this. And the whole premise there was that he didn't want to waste his inheritance. React is pretty good. Uh, React, I think its ecosystem is, uh, yeah, React's ecosystem is like really amazing. I really like Shadcn. I mean, they have this amazing component library, uh, even a lot of templates which they call blocks. And you can just yoink it from here, paste it into your uh, dashboard, and just start using it. And this is highly customizable. That's a good laptop to have. I have a 3060, which like is great for gaming, but I just don't want to game. I just waste the whole day on gaming at that point. Like I have no self discipline. I don't even trust myself to launch a game at this point. But you should give it a try, especially if you are using it with Next.js. Uh, this is going to work quite well for you. You have this amazing component library. You can just go ahead and yoink any of these. Uh, you can take the code from here and just customize it for your use case, and it'll just work. And the whole benefit of this is that you won't have to write your own components. Uh, Chakra is also good, uh, but I think that if you are going with Next.js uh, as your meta framework, then Shadcn, like it just blows everything else away. It's just that uh, much compatible with React and Next. But yeah, Chakra is also very nice. Uh, it also works with Solid, which I guess is a new library. It just has better performance. They use something similar to what Svelte has, which is mm, the whole signals thing. And they popularized signals. So, I mean, Svelte uses signals because Solid uses signals. I mean, JavaScript is just this amazing land where a new library or framework is born every second, and then you have to sort of play around with it. Quick is another great one. Like it has a different take on uh, the whole rendering thing. Yeah, Fireship. He too uses Svelte because Svelte is nice, but yeah, React, I guess, if you're looking for a job, React is going to, like, at least React devs have a job. They can feed their family. Svelte devs have nothing. It just helps me out. I guess uh, I struggle with focusing on anything for a long time. And if I don't stream, I'll actually waste a lot of time not working on this, but instead configuring something else. I just started configuring a server. I got into a lot of these things like I don't know if you have used NVim, but I started using that, and it's just a lot of time that I waste. But this way, at least I won't be tempted to just go off topic and do something else entirely that isn't related to the thing that benefits me the most. Like, I think everyone goes through that. I mean, if you have some tips to just walk through something like that, it would be amazing. But staying focused is a challenge. That, okay, I'll leave it at this. And maybe, just maybe, okay, I'll leave it at this and it works for now. Yeah, exactly. You just get something that is new and you want to test it out, or your favorite YouTuber has a new video out, like a new tutorial, and they're using this new technology in it, and then you get distracted and you start learning it, and it's just a whole other waste of time. Like, okay, that should actually keep it on top so that I don't have to stare at the other monitor. Where do I keep it? Okay, that is fine. I'll just shift this over a little. Nice. I have to configure it for. I'm from Delhi. Like, there's this place in Delhi called Dwarka. It is like, I think they're going for a New York type vibe here, uh, because We have got too many apartments, but yeah, it's nice over here. Like, there's not a lot of traffic. Uh, it doesn't take me a lot of time to travel to job, which I have to do. Like, I don't have any work from home available at my current job. It's just insane. What about you? Where are you from, though? Since you are making something in Tamil, I'll guess it's Tamil Nadu. I've never actually traveled to the south, though, like, I've heard that there are a lot of places, um, especially Karnataka and all, uh, which are like great, but just don't have the budget. No money. All my money goes to Vercel. Use Vercel, stay poor. Like, that should be their motto. It's so damn expensive, and the more your business grows, the more expensive it gets. But on the other hand, it is very convenient. Like, you won't have to spend uh, like a whole day on configuring your own server. And there's this thing about it that it just works. Yeah, well, as soon as I have got some money, as soon as this website takes off and people start paying me. Uh, so let's say you create a React website or web application and you want to deploy it so that other people can actually access it. Uh, you'll have to use some platform for deploying that. And you have got two options. Either you configure your own server and then uh, deploy your app, and configuring your own server involves a lot of work. Like, there's a whole other job category of DevOps dedicated to it, so you'll have to maintain its security, you'll have to maintain its reliability, you'll have to configure the CDN yourself, uh, and the environment, because React works with a Node.js environment, and so does Svelte. You have to then manage that as well, and you need to know Linux as well for that, because unless and until you do know Linux, you won't be able to do DevOps. And then you also need Docker. So there are a lot of things that you need to do. Vercel, on the other hand, makes it easier. You just connect Vercel with your GitHub repository, hit a button to deploy your app, and it is available to the whole world. I mean, that is how easy Vercel makes it. Uh, so it's just a one click deployment sort of thing. And like, I've tried to configure my own server, it takes a lot of time. Uh, it's something worth learning. Uh, for instance, and here you can go into Ubuntu and start working on configuring your server, uh, right? And that is why they also charge a premium for their services, because you are reducing your overall work, but uh, of course, you have to pay a price, and that comes with their subscription fee, which per user is around $20 per month. And then it goes to, and then it goes above that. But till the time you don't have a lot of users, you don't have to worry about it a lot. Uh, they also have a free tier, so if in case you are going to host, you can try Vercel. For non commercial projects, you can host it for free and it'll work. It'll just work. Just deploy to GitHub and connect your GitHub to Vercel, and you'll be able to launch it. What do you want references for? I can share the resources, but uh, what exactly are you looking for, Mohammed? And why are you so formal? Like, it's great, but yeah, it does. I mean, it looks like an AI typed that message, but maybe the guy is not good at English and just copied from there. What is the discussion window panel? I haven't even checked any of that. But what else do you think I can do over here? Should I also add in a gap of 4, 8, 8? A gap of 8 would look nice, and a gap of 16 that is on medium devices. I can go with more of a gap. Okay, that is too much of a gap. I don't want that much gap. Uh, on medium devices, I won't have a gap. Okay, this works fine, but maybe I'll have to work a bit on its justify evenly, not evenly, justify around, please. Justify around isn't going to help me out in this case. Justify. Okay, I didn't delete the. What did I actually delete? I didn't delete the. Okay, so this works for me right now. Next, I have to work on a different thing, and that is this thing isn't working quite well, right? So this isn't taking 100% of the width, which is something that I want, but I can configure that later. Uh, what can I use in this case? What did I want to use? I just forgot. Maybe I can use an after element space. Okay. So this is one of the keys. You just leave everything to your future self. That is how you get things done. Because getting stuck is the enemy of perfectionism. Okay. Next, we can move to the testimonials. And I've got my testimonials. Testimonials are pretty crazy. And the testimonials right now do not look good at all. So I was reading about startups and how to launch your own. And one of the things that they talk about is minimum viable product. So instead of, you know, having a product that is perfect, has all of the features, you just come up with a product that has the minimum number of features required to prove that there is demand for this product. So in this case, I'm creating a minimum viable product. This works. It doesn't look as good as a professional, maybe designer could make it. But I was blessed with zero design skills. So I won't complain right now. I think designers have a pretty cool skill. Let's add a testimonial. Here we'll go with a testimonial. Testimonial. We'll save it and publish it. Have you seen this other anime? I guess it's what was its name? I'll have to Google it. So anime movie. Oh wow! Like uh, uh, what kind of graphic design and UI UX work? Do you work on Figma or things like that? Because Figma I think is pretty amazing. Like I have used it some, but okay, yeah, here it is. I just forget its name, and it is one of the best animes I've ever watched. Yeah, Silent Voice. I mean, this is one of the best anime movies you'll ever watch. Like, it deals with pretty. Whoa! So that is pretty much you're pretty much into graphic designing. That means, and it's cool. Like, yeah, it's sad. It's but the topic it deals with, I think if you like Your Name, you'd like this too. It just is that good. I don't know how they came about with Your Name. It just dropped out of nowhere, and then I guess Elon Musk actually tweeted about it, and from there I thought I'd give it a try, and I just loved the movie. And it has some pretty good music as well. I think there's this band, something red, something red, hmm. Red Wimps or something. And the music was, I guess, Nande Munaya was good. Sparkle was also really good. So both those songs were pretty good. Yeah. But what do you think is the best anime series? Like, that's the real question no one asks. Testimonials, testimonials, please. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, oh, yeah. If you haven't actually watched the last season or read it, the guy actually dies and is killed by, what was her name? I'm really bad with names. Okay, yeah. Eren Yeager is killed by, where is she? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, Mikasa san. Yeah, it's just like so sad. um, his childhood friend has to kill him in the end. Like, it is sad for both of them. I mean, if they are dated, at least it would feel normal because then they would have hated each other. But yeah, I didn't even want it to end at that point. I wanted it to be extended for some time. Eren Yeager. Don't they have a search button? Have you watched Death Note Zero? Uh, sorry, Steins Gate. Have you watched Steins Gate or Death Note or I think this one is my favorite of all time. Like, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Uh, it's a shorter anime series, but it's just amazing. Full Metal Alchemist. They have this idea of like homunculus, and a homunculus is just a concept in psychology, I guess, uh, where your actual form is based on your senses. So let's say if your sense of smell is very strong, then your nose would be proportional to that strong sense of smell. So you'll have a huge nose. If you have a great appetite, you'll be really fat. Uh, if I don't know if you're horny, what would happen? But I wouldn't want to think about it. And they have this concept of homunculus, and they've divided it into seven different sins. So lust, gluttony, greed, envy, and all of those things. And it's just really dark beyond that. Like like it's an anime that is dark. And you can also watch Steins Gate. Like that is somewhat similar to Your Name. A lot of sci-fi uh, time travel thing going on in there. Uh, and the number of episodes are very limited. Uh, I don't think there are a lot of episodes there. Testimonials. I need good testimonials. Oh, I'll hide my email address. I won't log in. Or even better, have you seen hyperui.dev? Testimonials, testimonials. I can just yoink from over here. And then there's another great one, Mamba UI. I can also yoink from here. Now these designs also look good. Especially this one is quite simple, elegant, and copy and paste. Does it look good? It hasn't yet appeared, but it will. Here it is. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not good at a lot of these things. So I just keep track of any of these things, websites, resources that I can get my hands on. Don't need to read the story. We don't need this. I'll just take the SVG. And what is this SVG for? It is for this badge. Stupid badge. Let's see if this works. You can try different types of patches. Okay, but there's nothing like that whole website that I have. Okay, let us look at uc.dev. And this is a website for icons. I want an award. In my case, I need an award. So I'll type award. I'll just go with this one. Yoink it from there and get it over here. Okay. So it is the CMS that I'm using. And in this CMS, you have this feature that, for instance, you create a component and to then better visualize it, let's say if I'm going to use this component, I can, okay, I'll show you just a second. I'll just push the change to the repository. We'll have to wait a second and I'll go back to this page, right? Uh, I'll delete this and now I can show you. So I pasted the screenshot here while creating the slice, and when I have to use this, I can actually look at the slice and that image will show up here. So it just makes it easier to select the right slice, the right component, sort of like a visual thing. Have a nice testimonial. So I got the testimonial from this brand called Sleepsia, and I'm not in the mood to actually copy paste the whole testimonial, so I'm just going to go ahead and select this, add to page. I have the name of the brand. The brand representative was, let's just say, Bigfoot, and its designation is chief. uh, what position would you give to Bigfoot if Bigfoot were to work at your office? Hmm. Bigfoot can't work in marketing. I guess for marketing, uh, I mean, he could be a social media influencer or she. I don't judge. Chief Social Media Officer. Let's just save this and publish. And you can see once we pasted the screenshot, we are also getting some more information about the design and all, right? So as we change the content, we get over here how this is going to look. I'll refresh it. And I haven't actually pasted the image, so I'll do that right now. Uh, just go ahead and copy the Prismic image. Right. And what I'll replace it is with a custom component that I have created. So slice is a component. Uh, that's it. They just have a fancier name for it, but it is just a component. So if you have a website, you have a hero section, in React, you'll create a hero component. And in this CMS, you are going to call it a hero slice. Uh, so you can just replace it with a section or component. Okay, that is too big. I'll take the classes, I'll yoink the class and paste it over here. Right. And that should more or less work. Whoa, what did I do? Okay, now it should just work. Instead of this image, I'll use Prismic next. Yes, it works. And the good thing is that I can also set the widths. So I'll keep this a bit smaller. Uh, Maybe 100 pixels would do. Right. Yeah, that looks good. I'll have to get the updated icon from. Uh, I'll add that into Notion. I'll go to tasks and get Sleepsia updated logo from brand. Uh, just for reference, I'm going to. Okay, I guess we'll meet later. It was nice to just chat around here. Bye. Okay, now we have Bigfoot, who is the chief social media officer at Sleepsia. Nice, nice. Okay, so I've actually reached the 3 hour mark. Can I go ahead and do a 6 hour thing over here? It's time for a short break. Hello, one viewer who just came here. You came at a very wrong time. The world is about to end. Maybe. And the world is going to end because of a volcano blast, is what my prediction is. Oh, give me a few minutes, I'll be back. Or maybe I'll do a new stream. I'll stop this one. How about that? That'll give me some time to rest and recoup, and then we can get